Hello guys, first of all I welcome you all to interview question series. We are seeing some of the important interview question related to the Python. We have already completed 6 sets of Python interview questions, and in those sets we are just looking for some of the theoretical steps we have, and in this set we are trying to gauge with respect to the coding, right? So the most important aspect of the Python interviews and whether you're going for the data analyst, data scientist is that, and whenever they wanted to test you on the programming skills, they often ask simple programming questions, or the programming questions which bit logical in one. So you are in the position to handle those things. That's why from this set onwards we are just looking for the interview questions which are related to the coding. Clear? So let's get started with the session. First of all, I'll just import some of the libraries, standard libraries, NumPy, Pandas. Then there is some visualization library which is most often not required, but just the code of conduct I am importing those libraries right now. Clear? So just importing those library, and right now just move ahead with the first question we have. So the first question is Python program. You have to write the Python program to check whether the given number is even odd using recursion. Clear? So first of all, just wanted to give some heads up here. So what is the recursion we have? So if the function call itself repeatedly, then we call such a type of function, such a type of methodology are recursion. Clear? So let me just write the code for it and explain to you guys after that. Okay, so let me just write the code. Let me just first create one function which check some even or odd number using the recursion thing. So let me just take the def keyword, defining the function, the name of the function, check even odd, and I am taking some parameter here which is number. Okay, the variable number here. So right now what I am trying to do is that if number less than 2, if this condition satisfy, then return this result, num %2 equals 0. Okay, this line either return true or false, Clear? So let me just go, if this condition not satisfy, else return, I'm just calling my original function, check even odd, and I'm passing the number which is decremented by 2, Clear? So let me just try to execute this thing. Okay, the function is created. Let me just create another function to print those result, right? To print those desired result. So def print result is there, and in the print result I am just passing whatever the result I got from the check even and odd functions, and I am checking if result, if it is true, then what? Then print number is even. Okay, if it is not, else print number is odd. Let me just take this one, number is odd. Clear? So this is just printing the stuff on the console. Let me just execute that as well. Okay, so the two function is created. Right now I am just taking one user input. The user input is equals to, let me just typecast it, the input, because input by default return the string representation of it. So enter some number. This is my customized message along with that. So let me try to execute again, and right now I just wanted to give some number, so let me just give some 5 here. Okay, and right now I'm passing this thing into the whatever the functions I have created earlier. Clear? So what I'm trying to do here is that, let me just call the print result function and pass the check even odd functions output, and in that I'm passing the user input I have. So this is my function call right now. So function call. Clear? So this is my function call right now. Let me try to execute this thing. So once you execute, you will get number is odd. Number is odd. Let me just try to take the number as even. So let me just try to take the number as 10. Okay, and let me just try to execute again the function call. The number is even. So this is how you can just check whether the number is even or odd using the recursion. Recursion means what? The same function is calling itself. The function is calling itself repeatedly. Clear? So let's move forward with the other question we have for the session. Write a Python program to check whether the number is positive or negative. We will discuss two approaches for this same question. The approach one is simple yet intuitive. So let me just take one function here. So check positive and negative, and I'm passing some number here. Okay, I'm passing some number here. Let me first check if number equals 0, first condition, then return number is 0. Okay, if another condition is that if number is greater than 0, then return one string number is positive. Else if both conditions are not satisfied, it definitely means number is negative. Clear? So this is my function to check the positive and negative number. I'll employ the if and else over here. Let me just try to execute. The function is created right now. So let me just get some user input so that user can input some number. So let me just typecast it again, input, and then let me take one, enter some number. Okay, enter some number, and here I can just pass one thing here. So let me just pass one number which is 1 directly. Okay, the 1 directly. So right now I'm just calling this function. Just take the result as a variable, and let me just take this thing as well, and check positive negative function, and pass the user input here, right? And in the next line I'm just printing whatever the result I got. So the function call is executed successfully. Let me just check if I'm getting the proper output or not. It is positive. Okay, let me just take the 0 if for that corner case I have right now. Okay, so let me just execute this again. So number is 0. Let me just take another negative case. So right now I'm taking -1 here, and let me try to execute this and print some result. Number is negative. Clear? So all the corner cases are covered in this approach. Another approach is you can write these many stuff into a single line just to show the interviewer that you are much capable of doing these things. So you can employ the another approach. The another approach is by using the ternary operator. Let me just go here and try to go with the approach 2. So in the approach 2, what I'm trying to do is that let me just take one resultant variable directly. What I'm trying to do is that let me just first take the user input right now. So user input is equals to int input of, and let me just take here a string, enter some number. Okay, these are my numbers are there. Let me try to execute this thing. Okay, so first of all let me just take one input here as 9, just taking it randomly, guys. Okay, so right now I'm taking one variable directly which is res, and this is result, and let me just check if the user input right is equal to 0. If it is equal to 0, then just print something like this string. What is the string I wanted to print it here? I wanted to print number is 0. number is 0. If it is not, else, then again check some condition. If number is greater than 0, if yes, then print something like this one, number is positive, right? Else if any of the condition won't satisfy, then definitely number is negative. So this is how we can just employ the ternary operator. Let me try to execute this thing right now, and the number, okay, so the thing is that user input should be there instead of number. So let me just handle those things as well. Okay, so right now it is working fine. Okay, let me try to see what are the result I got here. Okay, the number is positive. Here also we can cover all the corner cases. So let me just take one 0 here, right? If I taking some 0, let me execute that code cell again and just see some of the outputs I have got. Number is 0. Let me just take the negative case as well. So let me just take the -9 right now. Okay, and right now I'm just executing the cell and again executing the another cell to see the output. The number is negative. So this is much more convenient approach than this, because the number of code of line here is greater than the other one. Clear? So these are many lines are there, like 3-4 lines are there to generate some input. We can just generate this input with output with respect to the single line code. Clear? Let's move forward with the other question we have. Python program to print all the odd numbers in the range. Okay, first of all, let's try to understand what it's trying to say. I wanted to print all the odd numbers within the range. So what is meant by range? Range means what? Something with respect to has a starting point and ending point. Okay, so users must have to specify the starting point of it, ending point of it, and within that range I want to print all the numbers which is specifically odd here. Clear? So what I'm trying to do is that let me just take some user input. So start is there, end is there, and let me just employ the map function here. Let me just employ the map of int, then input, and I'm taking some enter the range. So range is there, and let me just take the split, and by default the split is with respect to space. Let me execute this one. It will try to enter some range. So I just wanted the numbers from 1 to 50. So 11 to 50 I want. Let me execute. Okay, the start and end range is there. So let me just try to, so just to use the code reusability, I am just taking one function here. So def is equals to print odds. So print odds. So let me just take this one, and this function take some positional argument, start, end, right? Start and end. Let me just take one for loop for every I in range data type is there. So start is there, comma, end is there. So as by default behavior of loop function is, for function is end -1. So let me just take the end +1. Okay, so right now let me just go here again for every I in range, start and end +1. So I'm checking if the number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 2 or not. If it is divisible by 2, or we can just check a reverse condition, not equal to 0. If this condition satisfy, then we can just print the I, and we can just end those things into the one line as well. End is equals to comma. Clear? End is equals to comma. Oh, let me just take this one and execute that stuff. Okay, right now, so the function is created. Let me just call this function out. So let me just call this function out, print odds, and let me pass start, end, and execute this thing. So I'm getting all the odd numbers in the range of 1 to 50. Clear? So these are the things we have with respect to the printing odd numbers. Clear? So let me move forward with the other questions we have. Another question is, write a Python program to print all the integers in the range that aren't divisible by either 2 or 3. Either 2 or 3. Again, I just wanted to take some user input for the range start end equals to map function is there, mapping the integer to input, and enter the range. Okay, enter the range, and let me just take the split of it, and it is by default by the space we have. Let me just take the range like same 1 to 50 here. Okay, numbers are there. Let me just create one function def. So what is the div by 2 3. Okay, div by 2 3, and let me just take the start and end as an input parameter to the function. Okay, let me just take one for loop for every I, again in range start to end plus 1, right? So if I have this thing, so what I'm trying to do is that I'm checking if I is divisible by 2 equal 0, and I divisible by 3 equals 0. If these both conditions satisfy, then let me just take the reverse one here. So I am not able to write another loop for that. So not equal to 0 and also not equal to 0, then definitely the number is not divisible by these two things. Let me just print those I, and let me just take into the one line. Okay, so one line I'm just taking, I'm just creating one function here. Let me just go here and just call this function. So div by 2 3. Okay, so 2 is there and 3 is there, and I'm passing some start and end right now, and let me execute. I'm getting all the numbers which are not divisible by 2 or 3. Clear? 2 and 3 as well. Clear? So let me move forward with the final question we have for the session. Okay, final question we have for the session right now. Python program to print all the numbers in a range divisible by the given number. Right now I wanted the 3 input from the user. So what are the 3 inputs I have right now? So start I want, end I want, and div number I want. Okay, and let me just map it integer input, enter the numbers, and let me just take the split as well, and let me try to execute. It will ask me for something. Let me just take the start as 1, end as 50, and number as 4. So I am getting all those required numbers from the user. Let me just create one function def. So what I'm trying to do, a div by number, div by number. So I'm making camel case convention, a div by number, and it might take some start, end, and n. Okay, for every I in range, again I'm taking some range here. So what I'm trying to do is that start end plus 1 comma end plus 1, and let me just go here again. If I divisible by whatever the n is given equal to 0, right? If it is satisfied, if this condition is satisfied, then print those number, and again I'm printing into the same line. Clear? Same line I wanted to print. Let me just create this function as well, and let me execute this one. Call the function a div by number. I am passing some start, end, and div number here. Clear? Let me execute this code cell, and I'm getting all those numbers which are divisible by 4. Clear, guys? So try to practice this program on your system as well. Okay, try to get a hold of these things And again, one of the important stuff with respect to the Python interview questions is that when specifically when they are coming with the questions with respect to the coding, you have to explain that code as well. Once you are returning into the any like notepad or something like that, you have to mention your approach as well as why you are doing that. Okay, so the thought process is important, the explanation is important. I hope it's clear for all of you guys. Just go through that session again and just try to execute on your own, and you will get much better idea. So we will meet in the next sessions with more interview questions, more coding interview questions. Till then, have a nice day.